Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hi everybody, this is Alex Bennett, and I've had a long and interesting trip. It's called life. And for years, people have demanded that I write a book about it, and while I've been a writer, my main talent has always been that of a broadcaster. Over a year ago, I decided not to write the book, but using my best skill, I decided to tell it. It's called Life in the Passing Lane, and I described it as an audio biography. It's presented in 30-minute chapters, so it's easy to binge listen. And you can access it on the GABNET page by clicking on Life in the Passing Lane and going to a page with every single episode, plus some extras. If you want to access it on your mobile device, that's easy too. It's on iTunes. It's Life in the Passing Lane, an audio biography by me. I'm Alex Bennett.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the GABNET Tour Bus. Today our tour will take us up and around the newly designed GABNET.net webpage. For your safety, please stay seated while the bus is in motion and enjoy your trip. Also, remember that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated. Okay, we're off. The first place of interest that we're going to pass on the top left, you'll see a rotating billboard of all of the great GABNET programs. Legend has it that legendary broadcaster Alex Bennett created this billboard to attract early visitors to GABNET and to lure them into his site. To this day, it's one of the top attractions on our tour. Up next, look over at the top right and you'll see the most recent video of Alex Bennett's Ramble. And if you're lucky enough, we'll see Alex interacting with the citizen panel. Always a tour highlight. Did I mention that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated? As we approach the bottom of the Ramble video, we see quick links to all the ways that you can connect with GABNET programs. Facebook Live, YouTube, TuneIn, Livestream, Vimeo, and the GABNET Roku channel. They're all additional stops that you can make if you choose to step off the bus. But remember, please tip your tour guide if you do, and then you can hop on the next bus. Here's another highlight on our tour. On the left side, you'll see GABNET On Demand. You can quickly access any of the most recent programs there. Clearly, a value spot on our tour because downloads are at no extra cost. Please give your attention now to the right side. Look at the complete tutorial on how easy it is to become a citizen panelist. By the way, if you're a Luddite, there's a phone number that you can use to dial in. Okay, we're nearing the halfway point on our trip. I certainly hope that you're enjoying it. Oh look, there's the convenient call Skype button that you can click on, which will automatically connect you to the citizen panel. So now we're turning down the center of the page. I don't want you to miss any of these attractions, so please pay attention. Up first is a link to the 24/7 feed. Now these are going to come fast and furious, so pay attention. Next is a quick note on how you can hear GABNET on Amazon Echo. Next, quickly coming behind that, and this is always exciting, a screen that shows Alex Bennett's Ramble when it is live, with a countdown to the next show. It's always fun when we pass and the show is live. We're winding down our tour of GABNET.net, but before we reach our final stop, it's important to note that there is a place for you to contact them with your comments. Let them know how you like GABNET.net and the GABNET programming. And with that, we wrap up our tour. Remember, as you step off the bus, to please be careful. And also remember that GABNET is talk like you've never heard or seen it before. Did I mention, please tip your tour guide?
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Here comes Singing Jimmy. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I wanted to do. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Here we are. I fucked up. What? Who cares if I screwed up? Nobody's listening anyway. Is that nasty enough for you? Okay. Well, if we want to really get nasty, we'll do that in about 25 minutes from right now. But for the meantime, let's go check in with somebody we really care about. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is. She's in Oregon. Portland, well, actually Lake Oswego. It's my ex-wife, you know, and normally people don't even talk to their ex-wives, but somehow every 2 weeks I do. So, you know, that's the kind of guy I am.
Hey, and I talk to you. I mean, that's even the bigger.
Well, considering our marriage, I'm lucky you do talk to me. So
it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, and we're very forgiving people. Okay. This is Ronnie Bennett. She has a blog called timegoesby.net. And if you go there, you'll find out the depressing facts of what it's like to get older and some of the positive facts as well. Tell me something good about getting older.
I think that it's not. I don't think it's a negative blog.
No, I don't think it is either. But, I mean, when I say it's timegoesby.com, it's about what it's like to get older, everybody's immediately going to think, oh, that's got to be uplifting.
Well, the problem was, and I made, briefly, why I started, it's been 15 years. I didn't realize that till recently. Was because I was trying to find out what it was going to be like to get old, and I was doing a lot of reading. And, and everything 15, 20 years ago when I started was just awful, whether it was popular stuff or medical stuff. They only said awful things about getting old, to the point where you think, well, just shoot yourself. I mean, once you hit 40 or 50, you might as well. And so that's why I started the blog, because I didn't think it could possibly be that bad.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Okay, what's the best thing about getting older? I want to know.
I'm more relaxed about everything. I don't get as exercised over things that go wrong.
Okay, that's you. Okay, go ahead.
Not you. But a lot of people say that.
Well, you know me. You know me because, you were married to me. So you know me. And the thing that you must remember is that I stress over everything. And so that stressing over everything has caused a situation in which, as I get older, all the things that you were when you were younger amplify themselves. You become more of a caricature of yourself as you get older.
You really think so?
Oh, absolutely.
You don't drop any of that stuff?
No, I was talking to Harry Shearer once about, and I said, what's the hardest impression to do? And he said, somebody when they're young. He said, I can do the old Bob Hope, I can't do the young Bob Hope. He said, I can do the old so-and-so, but I can do the old John Wayne, but I can't do the young John Wayne.
Sorry to interrupt, but did you see Matt Damon as Brett Kavanaugh?
Yes.
He was terrific.
The only thing he didn't get right, he had the nose thing,
Yeah.
That
and the mouth that always turns down.
But he didn't get this part.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh,
part.
his tongue was just like almost ripping his mouth apart.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
He did a great job. He
did a terrific job. That was a very, very funny bit, But then again, we don't like Brett Kavanaugh, so we found it funny. I wonder how people who like Brett Kavanaugh found it.
We haven't heard from them.
Yeah, we haven't heard from them. I mean, quite frankly, I think from everything that I've been able to ascertain, and I'm just sitting here watching television, this guy's pretty much a sleazebag.
Privileged, male privilege.
Male privilege, and the kind of guy I would have hated in high school. I would have hated anywhere if I had met him in life.
You think you do. Man, women are women have pretty much had enough.
Yeah. You're a little out of sync today, folks. I don't know why she's out of sync, but all of a sudden she's gone out of sync.
Well, I'm looking at your picture. You're not out of sync.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you about that.
I don't know how you stop this out of syncness, but it sometimes it just cures itself. Anyway, listen to the audio, folks. Anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah. So I mean, this was the kind of guy anywhere in life I would have found him objectionable. I mean, he's just, and when he got mad the other day, that should have said to everybody, I don't want this on the Supreme Court. This guy's a loose cannon. But no, here you got Grassley. Now, you and I have a big argument. I think Grassley should have retired years ago, But he just sits up there, doddering his way. I know you hate what I'm saying.
I don't think he is doddering. And I think it's okay to be old and do what he's doing. I don't happen to agree with him most of the time, but that's a separate issue. That's not about being old.
Well, I happen to think Feinstein is getting a little long in the tooth,
Well, that's okay. She's still doing fine.
Well, I just think that, well, you and I are going to argue about this forever. I just think that I would prefer some younger politicians, not really young. I mean, Obama young, a little older than that, because I think they have more contemporary values. And let's face it, when these guys are making laws, they're not making them to affect you and I. How long are you and I going to be around? They're doing it to affect people who are in their 30s and 40s. And
hopefully that they're taking into consideration the attributes of all Americans.
Yeah, you're in sync again, by the way. The attributes of all Americans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are laws that affect children. Sometimes there are laws that affect old people. The Republicans want to essentially do away with Medicare and Social Security. That's not so good for old people, and so on. I mean, it's many ages have to be dealt with in governing the country, in all the many ways governing goes on.
Yeah, but I somehow feel that that there's something to be said for somebody being more contemporary and having a out of the box view of things. I think as we get older,
the out of the box. That's about 20 years old.
Tell me you don't. Tell me you.
As wonderful as people think.
Tell me you don't, as an older person, think less out of the box than you used to.
I don't know what out of the box means.
Out of the box means that there are certain ways of doing things, and somehow you're out of the box and you can see a new way of doing it.
You can do that at any age.
Some people become old farts at 25, but what I'm talking about.
Some people invent wonderful new things at 70.
Okay, as I've gotten older, I mean, I've always liked to think of myself as an innovator. I could always come up with a new idea. I always said people can steal my ideas as fast as they can steal them. I can create them. Okay, and now that I'm older, it's just a little bit harder to think outside that box. I mean, I'll give you an example.
That doesn't mean you don't.
I'll give you an example. I'm doing the internet, okay? I'm not doing the internet. I'm doing a radio program on the internet, or what I've been doing as a radio program. But the internet needs a different set of values, needs a different way of doing things. And so those kids who somehow know how to do it are getting all the hits, right? Some young girl in her, I think 14 or 15, who was giving out makeup tips, had 100 million views. Go figure that one.
14-year-old girls want to know about makeup. There are a lot of them. They like to see their own age people. That doesn't make what you do bad.
It makes it harder for me to figure out what I should be doing in the world of the internet to make the best use out of the internet and to be able to come up with new ideas for the internet that are internet specific. Okay, all I'm doing is a radio program on the internet, and that's not using the internet.
Which is about what 99.9% of people who put videos up online are doing. We talk to each other with pictures.
I guess. I know a guy. There's one guy. I have to admit, I still play video games. It's just It's one of my things.
I have a friend who every Wednesday night gets together with friends.
Yeah.
And they play World of Warcraft?
Oh, well, that's old school. I mean, I play Tomb Raider. I like to kill people and climb trees.
You're so cool.
So I don't understand completely how to get through some of these games. So I go online, and there's this guy named the Rad Brad who takes a game like Tomb Raider, the latest Tomb Raider, and goes through the whole game and plays it online. 500,000 views.
I've never played an online video game. I don't even know how to react to that.
And I have to admit something. I actually enjoy watching him play it.
But I'm sorry, I just don't know what that means. It's just I'm ignorant of it completely.
Yeah. See, that's because you're old. That's because you're old.
Like watching somebody play Monopoly.
That's because you're old.
It's okay to be old. I don't mind. I don't have to know everything young people do.
You know what? I've said this before. I think the worst thing about getting old, and you people should be listening who are younger, because we're warning you, it's coming, is that you become invisible. You become invisible to other people.
Women have a much worse problem with that than men.
Old women or women in general?
No. It starts for women at about 35 that people don't see you anymore.
Yeah.
35, 40.
But it's like, nobody pays. Obviously, they don't see me. I don't even get the benefit, which I thought was going to be one of the benefits of being 78 going on 79 years. That when I got on a subway train and it was full, somebody would get up and give me their seat. Never! Once in the last...
Oh, the last time I was in New York, the first subway ride I took, somebody did that.
Really?
Maybe I look older than you do.
Maybe. All I know is they and what I hate most of all, okay, are these mothers with their fucking kids. And there's a line that goes, if you ride for free, you must sit on a knee. Meaning
little kids.
If you get in for free, should sit on a knee. No, they got them sitting, taking up a seat I could take.
Oh, do you feel like you've got to sit down and not stand, huh?
And then if I were to complain about it, they go, he's just an old fart.
That's right.
Well, you're asking me what's bad about being old. That's some of the things that's bad about being old.
The opposite is true for teenagers. Nobody takes them seriously. And I really remember way back when I was a teenager how I thought I was pretty smart. I thought that I had useful opinions. And no grown-ups would pay any attention to me. And I looked much younger than I was. Finally, by the time I hit 30, I looked like a grown-up.
Yeah. And
people started to take me seriously. But I was really pissed off all the years leading up to that no one would pay attention to me. So it happens all through your life,
Yeah. Yeah. But, I don't know. I just want some of those benefits. I got a benefit this weekend. I got a benefit. Went up to Vermont. Took a plane, which air travel, for a short trip like that, I just don't even want to go. Okay? Because...
I understand.
Because getting out to the airport and...
takes longer to get to the airport than to get there.
Yeah, the flight's only 45 minutes. Okay,
and when did you have to leave home to be there to get on the plane?
It was a 1 o'clock flight. We left at 11.
Yes.
Right, and then we have to go through TSA, which is like you take off every article of clothing, and then try and figure out where you put it all. Like I don't remember where I put my keys. I don't remember. Couldn't find my wallet. Everything. It just all gets into disarray because it all goes into these buckets. Okay, but the one thing I found out coming back, I didn't know going, but coming back, if you're over 75, you don't have to take your shoes off.
I wonder what that... Oh, maybe they think old people can't bend over.
So that's the benefit, ladies and gentlemen, of being older. When you get to 75, you don't have to take your shoes off at TSA anymore.
So they think if you're that old, too, that you won't have a shoe bomb.
Yeah. Like, there was only one shoe bomb in the history of the world, and it didn't even go off. It burned the guy's feet, okay? Right. And ever since then... How many hours have been taken up with people taking their shoes off, and running them through the scanner? I mean, come on. Come on. Anyway, I
think the worst part is having to leave home many hours longer to get to the airport than it takes to get there on the airplane.
Yeah, well, I think it was just a wonderful thing that was the one benefit. That's it. You know, that and senior tickets at movie theaters, which cost too much anyway, even if you're getting a senior. You know, a senior ticket, if you're going to a 3D movie at the Comfy Chair Theater where we go.
At the what?
Comfy Chair Theater. So they have these lounge chairs, you know, the kind of chairs you say you'll never put in your living room, but you go to a movie theater to sit in. And it costs us $21 a ticket per person.
See, I don't go to movies and theaters anymore.
$21. Yeah, and that's for a senior ticket.
Oh, what a midlife people.
Oh, by the way, the cab back and forth costs us about $25. So by the time we're through, it better be a goddamn good fucking movie.
What did you see?
Well, no, it's not any particular film I'm talking about now.
Oh, okay.
But I've gone to some that were pretty horrid, and I went, you know, we just blew like close to $80. Oh, with the popcorn. We forgot the popcorn.
Oh, how much is popcorn these days?
Popcorn's up to about $7, $8 for a bucket, which we have to.
They let you bring your own.
Oh, you know, you can't bring your own. If you brought your own, they would tell you, I'm sorry, you have to leave that outside the theater. And I'm going,
how would they know?
I wish I were a lawyer because there's a suit there.
Oh, stop it.
There's a suit there.
It's not worth the effort, believe me.
You know, I want a good lawyer like Brett Kavanaugh. That's who I got to get, you know.
What do you think about him?
I said he's a creep. He's just a creep. I just, you know, everything. I mean, I believed her.
Hard not to.
You know, I mean, she could have been mistaken about who it was, but I doubt it. You know, but the event did happen to her. I have no question about that. And she was 100% sure it was Brett Kavanaugh. So I believe her over him. I mean, he wasn't credible. How was he credible? He wouldn't, you know, every time they asked him the question about, you know, would you go for an FBI investigation? His answer was, I'll do whatever the committee wants to do. Well, the committee's nothing but fucking Republicans, okay? What they want to do is...
he was embarrassing.
Yes.
You know, when he was there to answer questions from the senators. And when he turned around Dianne Feinstein's question, I was embarrassed for him. It was so awful. You just out of pure politeness in the situation in a Senate hearing room with a bunch of senators there with the announced purpose. Everybody knew why everybody was there.
He did the same thing.
And instead of answering the question, he says, "What about you?"
He did,
and he kept insisting on it.
He did the same thing to another female senator, where she asked him, "Have you ever blacked out?" And he said, "Have you? Have you?"
I think that was her question.
Yeah, no, that wasn't Feinstein's question. It was another one. The other, I'm trying to remember her name now.
Doesn't matter.
But anyway, she asked him if he ever blacked out, and his answer was, "Well, have you?" Well, wait a minute. This isn't about her. It's about you. And you know, and she finally...
That's what was so embarrassing, is that he didn't behave in a normal way, and he was so belligerent. I almost thought he was drunk.
Well, I just don't know, you know, and then I hear these senators heaping praise on him, these Republicans, like Lindsey Graham was embarrassing.
Well, see, I think Lindsey did that on purpose. Nobody said that I know of. I think that was just... I don't think he was really that angry. I think that he decided to do that to make as big an impression as Dr.
Well, they say he was auditioning.
Whatever her name was. And I also think that...
they say he was auditioning.
Kavanaugh talked to Trump before he testified. And Trump told him how to behave. I think that's what... It was too much like Trump is.
Yeah, it was Trumpized.
Yes. And he also, when he first came in, or at some point, somewhere, he answered a question that no, he had not watched the woman's testimony in the morning, and then later he said he did, or vice versa. But he gave both answers, yes, I did, and no, I didn't, which is pretty indicative of a whole lot of questions he answered without, let's just say, full truthfulness.
Right, right.
And that's, to me, that is frightening in a potential Supreme Court judge.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing that bothered me most about him. Was, this guy's going to sit on the bench, and I don't think he has the temperament to sit on the bench. I mean, if that was a job interview, he didn't pass it. He wouldn't pass it in any company in America with that attitude. Of suddenly somebody said something about you that you didn't like, and you responded in that manner.
I thought that was a Trump trait. That's why I think he talked to Trump, because Trump always responds that way if somebody says something negative about him.
Yeah.
And most people don't. Or at least most people in the public eye don't.
Right.
And that he did in almost exactly the same manner as Trump does in similar situation, made me think Trump has been coaching him before he went into the Senate hearing room.
Oh boy! Well, this is all a gift that keeps on giving. What I was going to say about Lindsey Graham was, I think he was auditioning for Attorney General, is what I think he was doing.
That's what people are saying. Yes. Yeah. I heard or read somewhere that 20% of the population of the country watched that hearing last Thursday. 20%. And that's huge. I mean, you have to take away all children. You don't count them because they were in school and probably weren't watching it. Maybe in high school they allowed it. Right. But in general, children don't watch that kind of thing. So out of all the grown-ups, which would make it an even bigger percentage of the full population, watch that. I was surprised. I think, given that it's a work day in the middle of the day, that many people watched, I was surprised there was that much interest.
Right, right. There was, but there was. I would imagine that almost every television set you could come across had that on it. Because I mean, it was compelling television. I mean, in a way, I walked away this weekend. I was thinking about it. I said, "This is maybe the biggest event of this sort I've ever seen in my life."
Even over Anita Hill?
Even over Anita Hill. This was far more dramatic. I mean, she got up, made her statements, was dismissed, and that was it. But this had a bite to it. And also, I've never seen so many heroes in one place at the same time in a Senate hearing. First of all, you had Dr. Ford, who I think is an absolute hero, and then you had Flake, who for some reason knew how to do the right thing. He knew how to play both sides of the fence and do the right thing.
Not till two young women yelled at him in an elevator.
I don't know that that's what did it. I think...
You said it's not, but I don't... I mean, it was almost immediately afterwards that he came out and reversed himself about all this. And he also is still saying that he still might vote for Kavanaugh. Really?
Well, he might vote for Kavanaugh if the FBI thing comes out to exonerate him, or to at least not substantiate.
This is not a legal proceeding.
I know, but what happens is that it's going to be up to the Congress. Each of the members of Congress are going to get a copy of the report, and then they're going to have to determine for themselves: does this report exonerate?
But they'll do it like they always do. They'll get the report and vote 5 minutes later.
Well, they'll do like they always do. They'll get the report and have an assistant read it.
No, they don't even do that. They vote in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So.
There was something, I've long forgotten the subject, but it was one of those reports, that's got 1,000 pages in it, and it got handed out late in the day, and they voted first thing the next morning. Like, they all sat up all night and read it. I don't think so.
Well, the Republicans are yelling and screaming about, we want to vote this week. We want to get this vote done. We've got to get this done. It's important that we speed this thing up. They didn't say that where Merrick Garland was concerned.
No.
And these same people are yelling this now. We're yelling, oh, it's not right for us to go and listen to Merrick Garland because it's in a president in his last year. And the Biden rule, well, it was something Joe Biden said. It wasn't a rule that somebody adhered to. Ridiculous.
That's true.
Just ridiculous.
Listen to us. The whole country is like this talking about.
Oh, yeah. You can't stop talking about it.
Except for Anita Hill, I can't think of any time that a Supreme Court nomination caused this much conversation and turmoil.
Oh, yeah, no. This is, and even Anita Hill, I don't think in general made as much for talking points as this did. You know, I mean, this was dramatic. This, you know, with especially once Frat Boy came in and started talking, it was very entertaining to see this guy going into a flop sweat. He's you know, anybody who would believe that testimony is crazy, just crazy. Well,
we've got a lot of those people apparently.
Well, we've run out of time, even though we could talk about this for the next 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure I said anything that everybody else hasn't said.
Well, we're saying things that probably people who agree with us agree with, and those people who don't agree with us are saying we're both full of shit. So, you know.
Well, I got an email the other day from someone I never heard of, a reader.
Yeah.
Who said she liked my blog, but I should keep my political opinions to myself.
I'm sorry.
My blog, I say what I want.
My blog, what I want to say, I say. You know, and if you don't like it, my attitude is, I have a guy on my show who's a big right-wing Republican, insanely Republican, okay? Defends everything Trump does. And they write me and they say, he's on almost every night. And I like it because he's balanced.
He's a call-in, you mean?
He's a call-in. See, his name is Phil, and he provides balance. So people write me and they go, I'm never going to watch you until you get rid of Phil. And I go, well, nice to know you, because I'm not going to keep somebody off the show because the audience doesn't like him.
Have you noticed, I don't get very many right-wing people commenting on my blog because over the years they are so nasty and they attack other commenters or me in a very nasty way. And you don't get to do that more than once on my blog. You do it once and you are banned forever.
Right.
So we don't have a lot of that on my blog because that will ruin any forum. Yeah. If you have people doing that all the time, it will just go to hell and nobody can have a conversation. So I banned them instantly with no warning, no nothing. You're just gone. But why do you think Republicans in general, and it's really high percentage, are so belligerent about everything they say, particularly compared to Democrats?
I have no idea. And with that...
All right, time to go.
With that, we'll say goodbye. A fondue, a bit of fondue. I bid $20 to Ronnie Bennett, who is no. It's no coincidence that we both have the same last name. Only it's her real last name because she adopted it legally, and I never have. Thank you, Ronnie. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie Bennett, as timegoesby.net.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
And that's what ex-wives sound like. And she's, I'm very proud of her. She's done some good stuff with her life, and hopefully there will be much, much more of it. Okay? And we talk to her every couple of weeks, and I hope you enjoy it. I enjoy it. I never thought I would say that about talking to an ex-wife, but because I talked to one other, but we don't have her on here because she's not. She has nothing to say, okay? I'm not being mean when I say that. She just has nothing to say. Hey, I just saw some lightning going on outside. Oh, it's going to be lightning and thunder here in the great Manhattan. Oh, boy. Oh, well. Anyway, the Skype lines are now open, ladies and gentlemen, for what we call the Citizens Panel. I may have to adjust it. I had something go a little bit wrong today, and I had to readjust it, and I'm not sure if it's readjusted perfectly, but we'll hope that it is. But our lines are open, and we're waiting for you to call. I went away for the weekend to Vermont. In a couple of days, as soon as I'm through editing it, I'll have a video of the vacation. We have these friends who live up in Vermont, and every year they invite us to come up for a weekend, and we go up for a weekend. It's a very expensive weekend. I mean, flying even JetBlue, I don't know how much the total cost was, but it was somewhere in the area of $500 or something like that. And but we had a wonderful time, and I will tell you more about it as we go on. But I'm just waiting for somebody to call now so that we can get this thing going. We use Skype. I say dreadfully. Well, oops. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. Ignore that. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. I have a problem here. It's opening up my other Skype, and I don't want it to open up my other Skype. Oh boy. Hold on a second. We'll get to this in a second. Let me do something here. Wow. How do I get rid of that? Huh. That's amazing. Every time somebody calls, it's going to go try and have me answer it on... okay, Scott, call me again, will you? Call me again. Let's see if I can do it by answering the other one or one or the other. Okay? Scott, give me a call. Scott Boddicker was trying to call me. And for some reason, I have two Skypes here on the system, and I don't want both Skypes on the system. So what do I do? Let me see here. Delete. Well, let me see what happens if I answer it here. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Oh, God, I don't want that. Call me again, Scott. Well, wait a minute. Here comes Phil. Okay. Now, if I just answer that one and not the other one, and I'm gonna have to delete this other Skype. Let me see here. How do I delete it?
What is that? The new or the old?
The new, but I have it. I had it on here. Let me see here. Hold on a second. I don't know what to do here. How I can possibly close it down. Store previous versions. Kind of delete. I don't want to delete it. Properties. What is it here? General. No. I don't know why. Oh, I know where I could probably get rid of it. Hold on a second. I'm going to see here. Okay. Oh, okay. If I add Scott, then I don't have that, but I want to get rid of that. So let me see here.
I want to
Here's
delete
Skype.
Got him.
Is there Skype? Is that Skype? No. That's Skype online. Let me see if I can get rid. No, that one is the one that's going right now.
It's working now because you got Scott.
I know, but the other one will keep ringing every time somebody calls.
That's crazy.
You sign out of the other one?
I'd probably have to get rid of the other one and delete it. Oh boy, because I was working on it today. Let me see here. Let me just hell, I'll delete it. Screw it. Delete it. Okay, it's now deleted. Let's see if let me go somewhere else here to make sure it's deleted. That's Skype. That's the Skype. That's the other Skype. Oh boy, I don't know what. Wait a minute. Uninstall. Now I don't know which one that is. That's the problem. So I would uninstall it, but Let me see here. No, it doesn't say which one it is. That's the problem I have.
Do you want me to hang up and call back and see if it gets answered by the one that we're on now?
No.
Right.
Let me see here. Well, I'm going to try uninstalling. Let me see here. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Hold on a moment. Let me see. Skype, it's the white one, the blue one. Okay, I don't want the blue one. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
No, you want the
Skype.
red one.
Here, I want the blue one. Uninstall it. Okay, uninstall or change program. Let's see here. What's the name of the program? Skype. 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 Ah, there's the version I want to get rid of. Okay, there we go. Now how do I uninstall it? Uninstall this.
Are you on a Windows machine?
Okay, yeah. I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it.
You go to that.
I'm getting rid of it. Okay, Skype was successfully. There we go. And are you guys still on? No, somehow it got rid of the wrong one. Oh boy, folks, hold on a second. Let me just set up the old Skype again. Boy, we're having a real problem here. Am I? And this isn't. Oh boy. Cancel. Okay. All right. Let me see here. I agree. No, I don't want make Bing my search engine. No. Make MSN my homepage. No. This won't take long. We're updating your Skype. Okay. Here we go. Come on. Is that it? There we go. We're up now. Not now. Now, how do I get my, where is, oh no. Oh boy, this is ridiculous. Okay, I want to get rid of the other one, do I? What do I want to do? Hold on a second, folks. I'm having trouble. Okay. I'm having trouble because it got rid of the other one, but it didn't get rid of the one I wanted to get rid of.
Well, let's see how the show goes tonight with circles.
No, I don't want to do that. This isn't going with circles. No, I don't want to do that.
No, I see.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Fucking
I know you don't want
goddamn
it. But...
fucking Skype. Jeez almighty. Let me see. Uninstall. Now, what happens if they give me the list of things to uninstall? App that's related info will be uninstalled. And also, I think I can't find my OBS Studio.
Oh, no.
That's the other thing. If launch anyway. Okay, I'll launch it anyway. There we go. And now, oh boy. I can't do that. Use that one.
You want to take a few minutes? We'll leave you alone, and you can do what you got to do.
Let me. I'm going to have to sign off and start over again.
Yeah, that's what I think.
All right. I'm completely flummoxed on this whole deal. I have no idea what we do or how we do it.
You've been gone for a few days, but
hold
you know
on a
what?
second.
Don't worry about it. We'll all live.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I lost my... Oh, here's the OBS. There we go. I got the OBS back. Okay. All right. Well, I just don't know how to get rid of that other Skype. It refuses to leave my machine. It's been...
It's virulent.
We'll find out when somebody else calls what happens here. You know? But it's really just... amazingly bad. It's evil. It's evil. That's what it is. It's evil.
Hey,
see that?
You remember the old Swatch watch? It was like a cheap piece of plastic, and people went crazy over it because they cost about $25.
Yeah.
Well, For the last 2 days, I've been wearing this. It's an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
And, it's like a Swatch watch. It's a cheap piece of plastic. It doesn't feel good on. I
love it.
I know you love it. I don't see what you see in it. And so I'm going back to my other watch, which is a real watch, not this thing where you got to turn your wrist to see the time. You got to touch it.
Well, you're just old-fashioned. You aren't used to it. I love it. I think it's the best. It's the one thing I've bought that I don't have buyer's remorse over.
Well, this one was Faye's, and she wasn't using it. So I put the longer band on and unpaired it from her phone, which wasn't easy, and then paired it to my phone, which wasn't that easy either. And now I've been wearing it for a couple of days, and it's not doing anything that makes it worth being a cheap piece of plastic on my hand.
Yeah.
There's things for heartbeat. It's cute. It's a gimmick, and the face of the watch would be nice if it stayed on, but I don't see what anybody sees in this thing.
Well, you're an idiot then, because it's a terrific watch.
I've been called worse.
No, it's a terrific watch. I find it very, very useful, and so much so that I'm willing to go out and spend $660 to get one of the new ones. It's a cellular.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, plus another $120 a year.
No, yeah, $120 a year and I'm willing to do it because I like it that much.
I got a bridge in Brooklyn you might be interested in.
Can I turn this air conditioning up more? Jeez almighty, everything is like against me tonight.
Yeah, did the super come in and prance around like the fairy godmother over the week that you were gone?
No. We're fine.
All right.
I have no idea why I don't understand this whole thing with Skype. It shouldn't be doing it. Here, watch. Jeff Stein has come online. He's going to call and it's going to happen. We're going to get that
with
ding-a-ding,
four,
ding, ding, ding,
with
ding,
four,
ding.
it's still Abbey Road.
Yeah.
And
I'll have to live with that until I can figure out how to totally get rid of it.
Well, this is not bad. This is quadrants, unless it's different.
No, I'm not using the new Skype, Phil.
Oh.
It's giving me that noise, and if I click on it, it'll bring up the new Skype, and I don't even have it on this machine. I just got rid of it completely.
It keeps coming back. It's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
But let's see. Now, will I see something different if I look at you on YouTube?
No.
It looks the same.
No.
Oh, it does? Okay.
No, it is not the new Skype that I'm using, Phil.
Hey, take your aggressive liberal attitude and tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to deserve that.
Yes, you did.
Hello, everybody.
I'm trying to tell you that there is no problem with we are using the old Skype. But the problem is when somebody calls me, it rings on the new Skype as well as the old Skype.
What did you say, young fella? I understand.
Yeah.
All right. You're using the old Skype, but it's ringing on both of them. And you can't seem to get out of the other.
And the new Skype, I completely uninstalled from this machine a few minutes ago, only it also did away with this, so I had to reinstall 7.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is fucking assholes over at
Microsoft.
Microsoft. I got on this support group or this group that was asking questions of the Skype people. There we go.
Really? They actually communicated with somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There's an extra one.
Oh, here comes SG.
SG.
Yeah.
Oh, not SG.
You got a camera, SG?
Yes.
Turn it on. There we go.
He's in rare form. So, Alex, how was your trip to Vermont?
It was lovely until now.
Yeah.
Well, you're not in Vermont.
Yeah, I guess I can't blame this on Vermont. Okay.
Now, I saw, did you attend the polo match?
Yes.
With your other elites in Vermont?
Believe me, this was not a polo match for elites.
Did you wear one of those big hats?
The only reason why polo, I found out, is so elite is because it's so fucking expensive to do.
Really?
You know, you can't have just a horse and a mallet. You got to have like 3 horses and a mallet because you can't use a horse for more than about 3 minutes before you have to change horses.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
See, I learn something every day, don't I?
Yeah.
Well, I never knew it was that aggressive.
It is. Well, the first day we went, when I get the whole thing made, you'll see this. The first day we went, it looked like they were just kind of batting a ball around.
Yeah.
But the second day we went, they were actually playing. They were actually playing complete games and playing them aggressively. And it was fun to watch. It was interesting to watch.
Any black guys?
No. Didn't see a single black polo player.
Could you figure out the offsides in polo?
Yeah, it's when the horse hit me.
You weren't playing; you were observing.
No,
right?
but they have a little about this high thing, so you won't go over it. But the horses can; they just walk over it, right?
Yeah.
But
It's kind of like lacrosse. There are no black guys. It's just a white man's excuse for a sport.
Well, it's not a white person's excuse for a sport. I just don't think I can't imagine a black person being interested in polo. You know, it just does. It has none of the attributes of other sports.
They don't go for skiing either.
But this one woman who
Yes, I can hear you. Right.
Who was
yes, it is.
Who was playing? Who I heard, you know. Was doing what was it? Was playing the polo, and finally she stopped. She said, "I got to quit. I'm exhausted." And I said to her, "Doesn't the horse do all the work?" And she says, "No." You know, it's an exhausting sport. She was red in the face and she was exhausted.
I'd imagine. You know, they swing that mallet. It's that's a pretty full swing, and when you do it from on a horse, the angle and everything that you're doing you're also trying to stay on the horse.
Yeah, at the same time. But they take the horses and they're very good at not wearing them out. You know, and also this one horse she had was 20 years old.
Wow.
You know, so it doesn't have to be a young horse either. So.
Oh, another year it can vote for Bernie.
Yeah. So, you know, what am I going to do with this information now?
What information? Your polo information?
What does it say here? Renee writes, It's a very expensive sport and color has nothing to do with it. America's racists have arrived. What? I don't understand that. Oh well.
It's more dog whistles.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of sports where horses are older and better. Like one is called the Tevis. It's out in California. It's a 100-mile race, and a lot of Arab horses are in that race because they are bred for long distance. So it's not unusual to have horses who are older in something like that.
You mean like Arabian horses?
Yeah, Arabian horses. Right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I know what it is. I still may have. Is that uninstall? No, it doesn't say uninstall on that one. Huh. This is really strange. I'm trying to figure out what was causing it. if I still have some Skype going here that I don't know about. Well, that's the old Skype. That's the current Skype. I have no idea where my Skype is. This is really weird. Really, really weird.
Well, then I won't ask you how you make the phone ring through the watch yet until you get done with your stuff.
The phone rings. It just rings. It should ring if you have it.
It's paired. It's not ringing.
It's paired and it doesn't ring?
No.
Oh.
So I think there's something you got to turn on in the phone to tell it to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I'm not sure.
Let me see here. What is this? This says Skype, but it's it's Skype.com. That's what that is. Where's my? I completely have lost my my Skype. And this Skype, what is this one? Is this it? No, that's the old one. Ah, that's the one I want to get rid of. Okay, but I might get rid of you too if I uninstall it.
We like you. We'll call you back,
huh?
Especially if you stop yelling at us.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell. What one is ringing and what one isn't ringing, and why don't I have some Skype here somewhere for the other Skype? That's weird.
You want me to call you back?
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do. I'm not going to put you all through that.
Well, I just thought that it would see which one it rings on.
Let me see here. Let me add. Let me see here. Settings. Hello, Tony. How are you this evening?
I'm all right.
You're okay?
The house isn't on fire, so I'm pretty good.
The house isn't on fire.
I actually unlocked the stove, so it's just mind-boggling, the whole short-term memory.
Yeah. Let me see. Pin to start. I don't want to pin it to start. Okay. That would be the blue one. It's the wrong one. Huh. It's really strange. Oops. I just did something wrong here. Let me put it back here. There we go. I'll worry about this later. I'll figure it out after the show is over. I'll probably spend all day trying to work it out tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, I won't know till I go on tomorrow night whether I fix the problem or not. Wow, we just had some lightning outside.
Yeah, I thought it was just me.
Yeah, so anyway, our president tonight was making fun of Dr. Ford.
I don't think he was making fun. I think he was being realistic and saying, hey, she didn't know where these things took place.
Phil, I can't take it. I can't take it. I really can't take it. You know, I mean, come on. He's being an asshole and an idiot. You know, to begin with, she knows where she was. Secondly, he didn't say he had one beer. He said he had a lot of beers over.
She said she had one beer.
Is that
Ford said she
makes the drink in there?
It makes me a jolly good fellow.
All I know is that he has been so ridiculed over the weekend by comedy shows and everything else that I don't see how you can make this guy a Supreme Court judge with any authority.
So comedy shows now are going to determine who gets on the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Matt Damon did the best Brett Kavanaugh I've ever seen.
Drinking beer.
Who did that on? I heard about it.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon did.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Did you see the picture? Did you see the picture of Dr. Ford as a 15-year-old?
No.
That tells you it didn't. That tells you it didn't happen.
No, I think that was fake news.
What did he?
I don't think that was a real picture. I don't think that was a picture of her. It was just real homely looking, and I don't think it was her.
Come on, Phil.
All right.
How does he even admit like he never had a beer? I mean, come on. Does he really think people are going to believe that?
Did you ever have a beer, Tony?
I don't drink, but I actually did drink on occasion, and to say I never would drink, never had a beer, it'd be like totally stupid. I just don't like the taste of it. Actually, I more would drink wine. I hate to say.
Oh, you're a wine drinker. Ooh.
I think it's bitter. I never liked it. Actually, you know what I found out, Alex? I never realized this. My brother told me my grandfather was an alcoholic who lived in the house. I don't remember him very well. He really.
Well, so good. I'm glad you had an alcoholic in your family. I
never knew because I don't remember him. So that's all I wanted to say. So I don't know why I don't drink. I don't know.
When he asked,
like you, Alex,
when he asked that one female senator, what was her name? Klobuchar?
Amy.
Yeah. Amy Klobuchar. Have you ever blacked out? What kind of a fucking question is that to ask a senator? How rude.
He said that?
Yeah. Have you ever blacked out? No. She said,
And what they were asking him wasn't rude?
Oh, not at all. Look at the job he's trying to get. There is no such thing as a rude question.
He's right. Come on. That's a big time job.
Come on.
And they can't answer these type of questions.
They've never asked anyone.
Are you going to say that asshole comported himself in a stately, dignified manner?
Yeah, it would have been.
Come
easy
on,
to
no. Don't say what about. Don't say what about. Tell me, did he or didn't he?
Yeah,
I would have been just as pissed off at them.
That isn't the point. That isn't the point. You're auditioning. You're auditioning for a job, and you have to act diplomatic.
Yeah,
you have to show the kind of. You can't show you fly off the handle.
I'd rather he be who he really is, and that's what
I'd rather he be who he really is too, so we can decide not to put him on the Supreme Court.
Right.
Did he have any decisions at the DC Circuit Court judge? How many decisions did he make?
309.
How many?
309.
I thought he had no experience.
Oh,
he tried no cases as a lawyer.
He tried no cases?
As a lawyer. As a lawyer.
As a
Why
lawyer.
did he do that?
Some people don't do cases as a lawyer, and then they go become a judge. Yeah.
309.
I thought he tried a lot.
Cases that he's heard.
The second highest court in the land.
You would have thought he tried some. He tried beer, I'll tell you that. Though.
Yeah, he tried beer.
He tried.
He likes.
I'll have another one. He drank that beer. Come on.
I mean, you did have the funniest line of the night the other night, Phil, as tasteless as it was.
What was that?
And that was, come on, who brings a swimsuit to a rape?
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
That
was tasteless, Phil, but it was funny.
I actually think he's a funny guy. There's something about Phil that I like because he's like the polar opposite of Alex. It's almost like your alter ego. I figure it out. It's like whatever you would be against, he's his opposite. It's like Bizarro.
The head and the ass.
Yeah, it's like Alex is Superman and he's Bizarro. It's like Bizarro World.
Is that a comic book?
Yeah, it's Bizarro. Alex would be Superman. You would be Bizarro because you're the opposite of everything he believes.
Bizarro World is the opposte of everything. Up is down, down is up.
Remember, like in Seinfeld, he was
Bizarro Jerry.
Yeah.
Bizarro.
You're echoing for some reason.
I hear that. Okay. I don't know why.
I don't know why. I give up. You know what's happening is Skype is going to their new Skype 8 exclusively starting November 1st.
Okay.
Even for Mac?
And the reason I had my... What happened to...
Lost Ray.
Ray. The reason I had my thing up and running...
So you want to watch
the reason that other Skype seems to be running is because today I was testing this system that would allow me to run the video on there, and it is so complicated. I'm thinking of November 1st not doing a show anymore. If I do, it's just be audio only. You know. Oh, there. See that?
Or do it on Facebook then. Go back to the Facebook then.
What happens if I go over here? Hold on a second. I just want. Oh, that hung up on him. Oh boy. This is ridiculous.
I'm back.
You know. Hold on a second. Let me. Oops. Oh no. Now I got to get rid of something. This is just all screwing up on me. There we go. Let me see here. Ray Renati. Let me call him. I'll call him. Oh, there we go. Add to group. Add to group call. I don't want you folks to have to hear that ringing all the time. Is what I don't want you to have to hear.
Oh my God! What is that ringing?
It's annoying. On top of it, Skype has an annoying ring. The new one.
Can you change that?
I don't hear it.
I don't know. I'm going to have to figure this all out tomorrow. I'm going to go online and see how do I make it so that Skype doesn't work. You know, how do I stop it from working?
You don't have to stop it. It doesn't work on its own.
No, I mean,
you're doing fine.
Huh?
You're doing fine.
You know, I know I'm doing fine, but I just hate that ringing. I'm just really ticked off at Skype, and all these people are writing in saying it's horrible, it's terrible. We can, and these aren't people who use it the way I use it.
They're a bunch of babies.
What do you mean? What do you mean they're a bunch of
writing
babies?
in on that thing he's doing?
No, am I still echoing?
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
They're saying
just like Trump said about the tariffs, they're a bunch of babies.
I think SG Alex was, I think, referring to a group that he's in that were dealing with Skype. They were answering questions.
No, I know.
Is that correct, Alex?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just joking.
Yeah.
Good joke.
Yeah.
And so I guess the people in that group were saying they hate it.
Okay, hold on a sec. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want that. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. I just saw something here, and I'm trying to hang up on something, but no, that one's working now. That's working. I don't know. I give up. I'm not going to even try and figure it out. I'll figure it out tomorrow. What I'll do is I'll just get rid of anything that says Skype and just put in the old one. And if I need to eventually put in the new one, so be it. I have a oh, there we go. This says SG is calling. Why is SG suddenly calling again? So he can make that phone ring sound? Why did you do that, SG?
Now I got you. You cut me out. Hey, I gotta go. But my prediction is 52-48 confirmed on Monday.
No, I predict I predict the other way. I predict it'll be at least 51-49. I think you're going to find that Susan Collins isn't going to vote for it, and what's her name from Alaska, Murkowski, is not going to vote for it, and I think you're going to find that Jeff Flake is not going to vote for it. I think he's.
What about the Democrats, Joe Manchin, the ones in the red states? Aren't they may vote?
Well,
for
you know,
Heidi Heitkamp is down by 6 to 10 points. She's got to vote. Yes.
Well, you know, I'm sorry, I just don't. Oh boy, you know, this whole thing happening during an election year. I mean, for people to make a moral judgment based on their future career, because this is a moral judgment that they're making, and to suddenly say to yourself, "Well, I may not get reelected if I vote against Brett Kavanaugh," is a terrible, terrible thing to say. That you even are taking that into consideration.
That just proves what kind of leaders we have in the Congress and Senate.
Really? How's that?
Well, because these people are more interested in their own well-being than in representing
I have to cut short. The dog has to go out. She's crying. I'm sorry.
Tell her to take a number.
Why doesn't he gas that dog? You know,
he's got 2 of them to pick up after.
Huh?
You gotta have corroborating evidence after 35 years. You got to have it.
There is no. You don't.
This is.
I'm going to tell you why, SG. Wait a minute. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, SG. Because this is not a trial. This is a job interview. Okay, and if you think of it in those terms, everything changes. You know, you're looking into the moral qualities of an individual who you're thinking of hiring. And somebody comes along and says he does not have the moral character, and you then judge what they say against what the other person says. But it's not a trial.
Let me say this. I'm a recruiter who gets people hired.
Uh-huh.
I deal with candidates. So when the Democrats say to the candidate, why don't you turn to the person and say, have the FBI investigate? There's no place in my world where the candidate is in control.
All right, will you agree with me, SG?
Of the process.
SG, will you agree with me, SG, that this is a whole different job category than you hiring somebody to, I don't know, install rugs?
No, I hire them to be talk show hosts.
Well, and then I wouldn't. I'd hire the most immoral human being you can find.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh, wait a minute, Alex, are you applying?
Well, if he's got jobs,
send me your resume.
I've got the voice, you know. But
Jeff's got it.
Yes, Jeff.
You're right, Alex. I'll agree with you on that.
Okay, Jeff.
What?
Let Jeff talk.
I've hired many people. Some of them, when I hired them, I wasn't sure whether it was the right person.
Yeah.
But I needed somebody at the same time. So sometimes you got to take risks. But this is a different job. This is for life.
And it's the Supreme Court.
In the Supreme Court, there are people making decisions, not just for themselves, but for my grandkids. Okay?
Yeah.
And you know,
you don't see the sham that this investigation and what the Democrats did. I didn't think you would, but
I do.
It looks like a sham.
I think there's a sham going on, but there's also a situation where a woman was possibly had attempted rape done to her by him, and maybe other people had similar situations. So whether or not it's a sham, or whether or not the Democrats are trying to take political advantage, doesn't discount the fact that that may have happened.
No, it may have happened, and they are investigating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I think it's both the Democrats trying to take advantage in a political arena, and also the fact that there may be a big problem with this guy. Well, I think both things are true.
I had a hard time defending not waiting a week and looking into these allegations and interviewing these supposed witnesses. I really had a hard time with that. You know, I thought the only reason I thought that they shouldn't do it was I thought that the guy was being railroaded, and the things that Feinstein did, holding that letter.
She didn't hold back, Phil. She did not hold back. She was asked not to release the information.
You know, this is
she was asked not. She was asked not to reveal the information by the parties concerned.
I understand, but they could have had a very private. They could have had They could have investigated this 2 months ago without exposing. They could have said, did Kavanaugh have these kinds of experiences in those years? And without revealing her name, there could have been an investigation along those lines.
So we don't know who revealed her name.
It doesn't matter, even if her name wasn't revealed. If Feinstein said, I have information...
You can't say you've got information if you can't reveal the person to whom you're attributing it to.
Well, don't you think Soros knew who that information was, and the other people
Soros doesn't know shit. What makes you think Soros knew what she was doing?
The left has been funding this thing. Where did she come up with $550,000 in a GoFundMe account? Don't you think that the left is making this?
She has a GoFundMe. Wait a minute. She has a GoFundMe.
These are people on their own who did the GoFundMe account. People, I think, probably in my freaking neighborhood here started it. I mean, come on, Phil.
And there's several ones.
You want to?
Well,
yeah. So what?
So what?
It's irrelevant.
So what? How do you think she's going to pay for those lawyers?
It's irrelevant, Phil.
How do you think she's going to pay for those lawyers?
The lawyers are working pro bono per their
statement at the
hearing.
Well,
at the hearing,
I don't even know that she's got a GoFundMe. She didn't certainly start one. If somebody
she didn't. Somebody did.
Well, then don't blame her for it.
No, but I'm saying
don't blame her for it, Phil.
Look,
you're fishing.
You've got Trump derangement syndrome because you yell every time you're challenged.
That's a Fox talking.
Can't you have a discussion without yelling?
No, not when the person I'm talking to is a complete and utter moron.
If the shoe fits, wear it. But I think that you are accusing and yelling when all you have to do is have a conversation.
Yeah. Well, here's the one question, Alex. You're the most brilliant person on the panel. Yeah. So I'll ask you this. Tell me about why the timing of all these allegations. Tell me why those occurred when they occurred.
I think they occurred when they occurred because they occurred when they had to occur and when they were when they had the information at hand and were able to reveal it. I don't think. Look, earlier this year we had a Supreme Court justice nominated by Trump, and the Democrats got together with the Republicans and they went through with it. There was none of this kind of thing going on. So to attribute that this is the way that Democrats do business, just this year they were very cooperative with a person.
I'm asking you about the timing.
I don't think the timing had anything to do with it. I think the timing.
I think
the timing was part. No, the 4 or 5 allegations happened after the hearings. After the hearings? No, they were looming before the hearings. Looming. Yeah.
No one knew of them.
I knew there were some questions, and there were some things that might be coming out. It may have been that, it is a matter of can you buy maybe that because of her reluctance to come forward, they could not go until that time when she said, okay, I will go forward? I mean, it was up to her. It was her call. And then when somebody outed her, okay, then she said, okay, you can go ahead and reveal my name, and okay, I'll come and speak before the committee. All right,
well, what about Swetnick, who was gang raped and then went to 10 more parties watching people?
Hey,
look, why didn't she come out?
To begin with,
because she's a nut.
To begin with, Swetnick isn't part of the investigation. All right?
Yes. No, not according to Schumer.
Well, all I've heard is that the only person they talked to what's her name, Ramirez.
Two of them, but according to Schumer, they
only talked to Ramirez. They didn't even talk to Ford, the FBI.
No, but Ford, the people. Do you know how FBI investigations work? They take the people at the low end, and then they work up to the principal.
Yeah, but they say they have no intention of interviewing Ford.
That's not what they said.
That's what they said. Wait a minute. Kevin?
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin?
That's what they said. That's what they said today.
What did they say?
They said they had no intention of going interviewing Ford, that they had enough from her already.
Yeah, I guess, they had that prosecutor that basically did an interview.
No, there are questions they could ask her that weren't asked at that hearing, like, can you have some people who might substantiate this? Can you give us their address? No, she didn't at that hearing.
I don't think it was totally ruled out.
Huh? What?
I don't think it was totally ruled out, but they said that they weren't intending to interview her again.
Yes.
The principal goes last.
There's still another day or two.
Yes, Ray.
Ray. I just want to. I just make an observation. It's interesting how people who are in favor of Trump have made dug their heels in on Trump, have learned how to do the Kellyanne Conway thing where you bring up one thing like Ford, and then you say something like, well, what about Swetnick? It's always like it always once you bring up something that is an actually good argument. Then it's always like, what about this, though? But what about this? But what about Bill Clinton? But what about...
No.
Yeah, you do
and Kavanaugh did it the whole time. You do that all the time.
Look at your own... Schumer is the one, and they are saying we need to investigate everyone. I'm not saying that. I could care less if Swetnick is in there or not.
He didn't want it to take more than 7 days. He didn't want it to be limited to 7 days. He said, but Trump is saying he doesn't want it to be a fishing expedition, that he wants them to, investigate these claims and then move on.
Well, no, the reason he's accusing he doesn't want to fit. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
And they made a deal with a bunch of Democrats that said it's going to be a week.
SG, listen to me. To begin with, Phil, the reason why Trump is saying he doesn't want it to be a fishing expedition is he's once again trying to make the FBI look bad, saying, "Oh, well, they're doing a fishing expedition with me, and I don't want them to do with me, to this
that's
guy."
Supposition.
Also,
I think he just wants to get...
I am so sick of this prick Trump. Okay, this fucking prick Trump. Coming out and doing these wee stories about, oh, poor Brett Kavanaugh and his family and his lovely child. I've seen his lovely child, and she's such a lovely child. Why are you hiding him behind his family?
Because his family is part of who he is. He has
Fuck
a beautiful
his family. He got them into this mess.
He didn't get him into anything.
Yes, he
He's
did.
just been accused.
He agreed to go up for the job and to take anything that it took, and he knew probably there were some things they were going to find on.
What would you say if this was proved to be false?
Hey, listen, this guy on Thursday lied through his fucking teeth on just about everything. Lied. He lied to begin with once before in his hearings. In the hearings, hold on a second, SG. SG, hold on a second. In the hearings that went on before, he said he didn't drink. And now, all of a sudden, he's saying, I like beer. I drink beer a lot.
He didn't say he didn't drink.
All right.
Yes, in the original interviews and stuff, he didn't. He lied about being asked if he used alcohol.
I'm not sure of that. I can't say
and in this thing, he said, well, I liked an occasional beer. They've got people, Brooks, the guy from the right winger who writes for the New York Times for the op-ed page, I'm trying to remember his first name, said that he knows Kavanaugh, and Kavanaugh is a heavy drinker.
You know, I saw a meme today, which was kind of funny. It showed a bunch of cartoon FBI agents go to a door, knocking on it, saying, "Open up! We're here to talk to you about a 1982 party you were at."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get it?
So what?
No, I didn't play.
Yeah,
imagine a bunch of people knocking at your door saying, "Hey, Alex, we want to talk to you about a 1982 party you were at."
Well, David Brooks is the name, by the way.
Go ahead. I'm not running for a judge.
Yeah.
Okay, no one's running for a judge. But the point is,
he's not running. He's being appointed.
Okay, whatever. He's not being I'm not being appointed as a judge.
It has to do with character. Do you want someone?
It has to do with character.
Lies?
The bottom line, it probably doesn't even have to do with him doing what he did to her. It's the fact that he lied about it. It's integrity more than anything else.
Exactly. Lied about other things. We know he lied about other things.
I mean, if you're going to be a judge, you can't lie. Period.
Well, we'll see if he lied because the FBI will see, and
the FBI does not.
Well,
come
you see
to
what you're doing when you're a
the
judge.
FBI investigates.
Oh yes, Scott's got his hand up. Let Scott talk.
He can lie because he's Catholic. He can go to church and confess it and be free of his sins.
See, this guy knows.
That's all he wants.
This guy knows.
That's what happened.
This is
I
true.
thought the same thing, Scott. I thought the same thing when I was listening.
Me too.
Because when that one senator asked him under the word of God, did you do this? And he sat there and he thought about it and he said, you know what? I can go to confession later and fix this.
There's no problem for him. Yeah.
Well, you guys will have to go to confession to fix it because you're accusing an innocent man of.
Well, how do you know he's innocent? How do you
don't know
Phil,
that?
How do you know
he's guilty?
How do you know he's innocent?
How do you know he's guilty?
I'm not saying he's guilty.
There's a presumption of innocence.
I'm not saying.
How do you know?
In this
we
country,
don't know, but this is a job interview.
this
It's a job interview.
There's a presumption of innocence.
It feels like he's guilty, so he's guilty.
It's a job interview. Why can't you just
I looked in the man's eyes. I looked in the man's eyes. I'll be like Kennedy from Louisiana. I looked in the man's eyes, and you know what I saw? Utter fucking deceit. All right?
Yeah. And how about just demeanor? Is that the kind of person? Is that the demeanor?
Yeah, is that the kind of fly off the handle? No.
He said what should have been said by Bork. He said what should have been said by Clarence Thomas.
I don't know if you've ever been in for a job interview, but if you're interviewing for a job, aren't you going to be as nice as you possibly can?
Exactly.
No matter, even if the guy from across the table says, "We heard you like goosed a woman at your last job," you go, you don't yell at him. You very calmly go, "No, I did not, sir."
Well.
That's what he said.
The thing that you're missing on that, Alex, is 11 of the people are for him, who he's trying to he's trying to emote that he's passionate about who he is and where he's been and
That's
what
bullshit,
he's done.
Though he didn't prove that. What he proved is, number one, he's a crying little vindictive shit.
That he's not going to stand for it.
But he's a lying, crying, vindictive piece of shit. That's what he is.
Lindsey Graham also told those guys where it's at. And Lindsey Graham...
you know what Lindsey Graham was doing, Phil? He was auditioning for a job for Attorney General. That's what he was doing.
I don't think so.
You know, that's what everybody says. He's up for Attorney General with Trump. And so he played, Lindsey Graham, that little weasel.
He stood up and he said what was truthfully on his mind, and Kavanaugh gave him the ability to do that because Kavanaugh stood up and talk back to
let me just
those
say this.
people
If
that were
Lindsey
trying to
Graham
railroad
hasn't sucked a dick in his time, I'd be amazed.
Lindsey Graham is totally gay. Every gay person I know says that he's closeted.
Well, I don't want to say he's gay. I don't want to say he's gay because I know a lot of gay people, and I don't want to cast aspersions on them by saying Lindsey Graham is gay.
Well,
I'm very
closeted.
I'm very happy.
Boffed too. He boffed.
No matter
he
who
did some bopping and some devil's triangles.
No matter who he sleeps with, I'm really happy that he stood up, and he stood up to the
He was standing?
He stood up with his convictions.
Oh, I thought you meant
let them know
by the way,
what kind of lowlights they really are.
By the way, number one, I've never heard of the term "the Devil's Triangle."
Neither have I.
But
me either.
Has anybody heard of a drinking game called the Devil's Triangle?
I don't drink.
Yeah,
Since when do you
I was in a
log?
fraternity like Kavanaugh's, and I saw every drinking game there is. There was never a Devil's Triangle.
Since
and
when
I
do you
knew
log
a
on your
lot of
calendar
people like
that you
Kavanaugh.
boffed?
Yeah.
All right, $1 he gets.
I didn't log that I farted.
I bet $1 he's confirmed. Place your bets.
Oh, I think he's
how
going
do
to
you
be
collect?
confirmed. I think he's going to be confirmed.
Yeah,
I'm going to count on Alex, who's a very honest person.
Okay, well, how are you going to collect?
Venmo.
Well, I don't want to bet, but I'll say he's going to be confirmed. Because do you have PayPal? I could send you the money or what?
Venmo.
At PayPal,
Venmo,
they'll
okay.
laugh at $1.
Send Gabnet bucks.
Man, I got to tell you, Skype, if you're listening,
Alex bucks.
Skype, if you're listening, your bell is so fucking annoying.
We don't hear it.
Yeah, we don't hear it here.
We don't hear it at all. It's only on your side.
It's so annoying.
It's not going over the air. We don't hear it.
It's so annoying. And
Do you
look,
pay for this?
Wait a minute.
Alex, do you
Wait a
pay
minute.
for this?
Are you doing the same thing SG is doing, Jack, or do you just not
he doesn't
want to?
realize it. Jack, move your camera.
Oh, there it is. There we go. Yes, Jack. How are you?
Hey, I'm surprisingly good, all things considered. Here's the question I want to ask: Why would anybody want someone to sit on the highest court in the land where there's questions of propriety, morality, and I don't even give a damn about morality, but when you got somebody who, like my good friends that are Republicans, like Phil Meyer, who's always talking about what great, straight living people they are, and we find out they're all a bunch of dogs like the rest of us. Now, I'd have more respect.
Welcome to reality.
I would have more respect for you conservatives if you said, look, we're a bunch of bastards like the rest of you.
They are. But you know what?
But they don't say it.
Is he qualified? Is he qualified based on his knowledge of the Constitution and constitutional law to do the job?
What about his qualities as a human being? I'd rather have an idiot. I'd rather have an idiot than a guy like this guy.
Then I guess we're going to have to put Alex on the Supreme Court. But you know,
a step in the right direction, followed by me, and then maybe followed by 2 or 3 women.
This is an accusation. He says he's innocent.
Then
why would you just believe the woman and not the man?
Because we've had more than one woman come forward.
Yeah, Svetnik, who's a nut.
Wait a minute. You don't even know Svetnik, so you don't know that she's a nut. You know, you don't know that she's.
They've already walked back all her accusations. She was of college age. What was she doing at 10 high school parties? No, it doesn't add up. This is a Michael Avenatti plant.
Right, then
I thought it was the Clintons.
Then let's try the man in a real court and send his ass to jail.
That would be a nice, Jack, that would be a nice thing, because if you tried him in a real court, he would get to confront his accusers, number one. Number two, if this is specious, like I believe it is, they would be charged with a crime for making a false report. And so that's why they don't want to go to a civil court.
Oh, wait a minute. He doesn't want to go to a civil court.
Oh, no. Well, he's got too much class. He wants to be a Supreme Court justice.
And he's
going to let it go.
He has a test from the day whatever the good part of him rolled down his mother's leg.
He is going to let it go, but those who are accusing him have the ability. There's no in Maryland. There's no statute of limitations. They could sue him civilly. Oh, you know.
Look,
all I can tell you is
you Republicans had a fields day with Bill Clinton. It's our turn.
That's what it is. And so Kavanaugh was right.
Hey,
it's all about Clinton.
No, the Clintons.
Yeah, Kavanaugh was right.
Well,
the Clintons orchestrated this, he said.
Look,
no.
Yes,
he says it's revenge. It's revenge for.
No, he said they orchestrated it. I heard him.
It's revenge for his work with Ken Starr.
Damn it!
I heard him say they orchestrated it. I will find it.
It's time that we admit that a big portion of American politics is revenge, and that there's nothing wrong with it. And you take your scalps when you find them.
I don't think this is revenge.
No, you know, maybe
we're not.
Maybe in the days of dueling, but things have changed. And you know, just because I like you, I'm drinking black tea.
Well, just because I'm a socialist, I'm drinking tomato juice.
Elections have consequences.
Look,
I am socialist and I drink vodka.
If the man winds up on the court, he will be in a position to make determinations on laws that could stand for as long as 100 years.
I hope so.
Well, the thing is, I think now you know how I feel about this. We have reached a tipping point in this country where it's time to break this son of a bitch up. It is time to have 5 or 6 countries on this continent.
I don't agree with you.
I know you don't agree because you don't see the value of it. Wouldn't you like to have a country where a guy like me, a lefty like me, has no impact on your country? I'd like to have one where a conservative like you...
That's what lefties want, but I do want lefties...
And if you don't want the same thing, you're lying to me and you're lying to...
I want lefties to have impact. I want a representation that is fair to everyone. And because I'm not looking for a dictatorship.
In that case, you better do something about voter suppression, voter cribbing, gerrymandered districts, disproportionate representation by the affluent.
Now, hasn't that been happening since Hector was a pup? I believe that's been going on. The Congress was ruled by the Democrats for 50 years after FDR.
And the Democratic Party wasn't a real leftist party and still isn't.
No, they were KKK members for the most part. But
listen, politicians. Yeah, no, Phil is right about that. Politicians, by and large, care about one thing, and that is power. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting power, but there is something wrong from your opponents backing down and not willing to take the fight to you. I always say this, Phil, and you've heard me say it. We've all got a jugular. Nobody is going away in the American political fight as long as we try.
That's the problem. People don't discuss anymore. They yell at each other. They don't have conversation.
There's nothing wrong with yelling as long as you get your point in. I don't have to agree with you. I don't expect you to agree with me. I do expect you to come the line, look me in the eye, and fight as hard as I fight.
I'll look you in the eye. You need to have discourse, not punching like Ray.
It's past that. Listen, we haven't had discourse in this country ever.
Well, it's time that we grow up.
Well, we're not going to because we're human beings. Now let's accept that, and let's enjoy these.
I can't accept that.
Let's enjoy these battles. Let's enjoy winning and losing and getting up the next day and going to try to rip a new hole in each other. Because
that's the problem.
We the people.
Why would you want to do that?
How is that a problem, Phil?
The problem is you don't get any agreement amongst people when you're yelling and trying to rip a hole in their throat.
All right, let me ask you this. Do you want agreement or do you want consensus? They're two different things.
Both.
Sometimes you have, I remember once I had an argument with my first wife. I had never been married before. I was 36 when I got married. And we got into this fight, a really verbally good bashing of each other.
Good. Fine.
So finally I said to her...
Is that how you got the tracheotomy?
Yes, as a matter of fact. So finally I said to her, Peggy, you win. And she looked at me as if I had gored her ox. I said, no, you win. That's it.
That's because you gave up.
No, I said, no, look, I'm not going to convince you. You're not going to convince me. I'm just going to tell you that you win. And sometimes you just have to settle for winning. And that's what we do.
No, it's not about win or lose. Not if you can have reasonable discourse. Because the whole idea, what Trump wants to do, when Trump makes a deal, what he tries to do is he tries to do it from a point of friendship, and he doesn't. Maybe in the beginning he sets it up where he's yelling at the guy and calling him Rocket Man. But once he gets to the point where he's having discussion, you have to get on a person-to-person level.
I think, Phil, what you're mistaking for a good business sense is really raging cowardice. That when he's wait a minute, let me finish. When he isn't close to somebody, when he's across the ocean, he sits there and calls him Rocket Man. When he looks him straight in the face, he's like Jackie Gleason, humma, 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 humma.
I don't think you're straight on that, and I'll tell you why. Because see,
he was a great. By the way, he was a great businessman. Do you know the business people laugh at him?
I laugh at them. So
Yeah, but you're a lousy businessman too compared to them.
Probably.
Yeah.
What Phil wants is consensus. Hey. Consensus is different. Consensus is, yes, where people agree to at some point agree on how they're going to do things. Let's never confuse politicking and governing. Politicking, street fight, governing.
SG's got to go. SG's got to go. Thanks, SG. We really appreciate you joining us tonight.
Call back anytime.
Okay, sure. Bye-bye. Okay, anyway. Okay, back to
Jack?
Where we were, yeah.
I was saying, look, nobody is leaving these battles. Nobody is going to give up their position, and nobody should. Sometimes we just may have to just settle to say, you won one, and I'll get even with you down the road.
I think that the point of negotiation is that everybody should be a winner.
Do you understand there's a difference between governing and politicking?
No, because politicking gets in the way of governing. We elected these people to govern, not to politic.
The process of getting to the point where you're governing is politic. Is getting people who share your point of view to support you as long as we have a system that is funded the way we fund our political system. If you want to do something about that, where the people are working for us rather than vested interests, then we need to have publicly financed campaigns, probably from the State House up.
What would happen if you just eliminated lobbying?
Well, first of all, if as long as you've got guys like you who have sufficient enough capital to pour into somebody's campaign, they're going to do what it takes to garner your support.
Well, I bought Trump's.
I want to know that just like Trump or just like any other multi-billionaire, I can buy my politician and he stays bought.
Well, I'm pretty sure I bought Trump. I donated $200. Do you think I'm going to get my way with him?
That's a good. Well, I tell you, if there are enough people like you, give him $200. And is that all you gave to a guy that you support?
And I bought a hat.
I give $150 a month to the Democratic Party, and I don't call myself a Democrat. They just happen to be the party that's in power, that has the best chance of winning, that represents some of the things that I believe in.
Well, I did donate to Amy's campaign.
Well, good for you.
And look what I got over the last week.
Melania. Oh. She asking you for a date?
See, I got on that shit list again, and now she's sending me letters.
Yeah,
that's nice.
The only thing is, the difference between hers and the ones you get from Trump is hers says, help.
Smells good. Smells really good.
Is it perfumed?
I'm a Russian sex worker trapped in the White House.
Yeah.
Ooh, it smells good.
It says he touched me on the pussy.
There's a hair in here.
His mushroom dick.
Is that hair on the Coke can?
It's shaped like a mushroom.
There are two things Trump should thank God for. He should thank God for winning the election, because the two reasons are he can't be arrested, and Melania is staying with him. If he didn't make it the president, he'd already be up on charges, and Melania would be long gone.
If he didn't run, he wouldn't have a lot of the issues that we're talking about.
By the way, have you seen the retard Barron lately?
No.
No, is he a retard?
Yep.
How do you know?
Look at him.
He's an 11-year-old kid that's fostered into the limelight.
Fostered?
Thrown in the limelight.
He has had less limelight than the Obama daughters, the Clinton daughter, the Carter daughter, and certainly less than the Roosevelt sons did during their day.
I don't even know
the Carter daughter. He's not allowed to get high.
I mean, for all I know, the kid's dead. You don't see him, you don't hear from him, nothing.
We haven't heard about his report card.
Actually, it's not that, they say he may well be retarded. Is that the proper term? What's the term we use now? Retarded. He's retarded.
You're retarded.
What, are you making fun of retards now?
No,
at least if he was a journalist,
that used to absolutely break Albert up when we were doing our radio program. Whenever I would go, "What are you, retarded?"
That is really hypocritical.
I love the word.
Yeah.
Did I ever say I was politically correct, Phil?
I'm not talking about politically correct. I'm saying that to go after the young children. All right,
is wrong. Barron,
Phil, that's just a retarded remark.
Barron has special needs. One of them being a loving father, but that's another story.
He ain't got that.
I'm not so sure he's got any problems. No one has admitted one way or another. If anybody's retarded, it's probably Tiffany.
Tiffany,
the daughter of Trump and what's her name from Georgia.
She just wants nothing to do with any of this because she thinks her father's a dick.
Oh, Tiffany.
No, she'd rather sit by the pool in a swimsuit.
Yeah. Well, like Alex said, obviously, she's much more intelligent than the rest of his kids because she's staying away from him.
Yeah, well, maybe Barron is too. I've seen the kid. He doesn't display anything that would lead me to believe that he was challenged in anything.
All right, but look at all the heat you guys threw at Amy Carter and at Chelsea Clinton. It's fair. It's not right, but it's fair. As long as
Chelsea Clinton was pretty much left alone, and Amy Carter, she was a little bit of a devil and would do things that maybe put her in the press once in a while,
such as
smoking pot, sneaking out the tunnels, trying to evade the Secret Service, stuff like that.
Sounds
stuff
like
kids
the Bush
do.
twins.
Yeah, stuff that kids do, and what's wrong with that? I'm not saying
stuff that kids do. Attempt rape, things that kids do.
Amy Carter didn't try to rape anybody. Now maybe her father had a little bit of stuff in his heart. What did he say? He said I lusted. He lusted
in my heart.
Lusted his heart.
Well, he was being honest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so was Kavanaugh.
I mean, after all, Nixon and Pat Nixon never slept together during the entire time that they were in the White House, because he had B.B. Rebozo on the side. But
she was drunk all the time.
Yeah. And we all know how that works out.
Oh, no, excuse me. It was Mamie Eisenhower that was the alcoholic.
Was she?
They kept sending. We're sending her away on a holiday, and then she would go into an alcoholic center.
It was Ford's wife that was. It was Ford's
Betty
wife
Ford had a real
alcoholic.
problem, and she solved it, and she did well by it.
She had her own clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And she visited on a regular basis.
Yeah, right.
I've always
When
wanted.
are we going to have a midget president?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're not going to see many midgets anymore, or dwarfs, because what happens is when kids are born and it looks like they have a propensity towards dwarfism, they hormone them up like crazy, and they get them to a small height, kind of, on a par with Tom Cruise. They get them to that height, and so you don't see as many of them any longer. However, you do still see dwarves, and I think they're fun.
There's a couple of dwarves in my neighborhood who have a Great Dane, and they walk the Great Dane, and it's taller. It's like they're here, and the Great Dane is here. It's hilarious.
By the way, you know the difference between a dwarf and a midget. This is not a joke, but the difference between a dwarf and a midget. Midgets are proportionate. Dwarves have a normal body and short legs.
Yeah.
When my granddaughter, which one?
Hobbits.
Dinklage is a dwarf.
When my granddaughter Kayla was a little kid, everywhere she would go, she would meet midgets. Just about everywhere she went. I had never seen a midget until this kid came to live with us. It was amazing.
You had a midget in your house?
A midget magnet.
No. She was a midget magnet. I mean, we'd go to the grocery store, and one of the girls checking out was a midget. She was on a little box, and to get up to the register, or we'd go somewhere to see a movie, and then a midget would come into the theater to see the same movie. It was really kind of freaky.
She was a midget magnet.
Like movies too.
A midget magnet.
Of course,
you ever watch the roll-offs?
No. But she
was hilarious.
She went into dwarf tossing, I understand, as she got older.
Dwarf bowling?
Yeah. No, there was a sport. In England,
called dwarf tossing.
Something.
They banned it, but then it put all those dwarves out of work.
Yeah.
Just because that guy Bill Shea passed away, now you guys are all on top of these dwarfs.
Well, wait a minute. You got like you've had some pretty great actors who are dwarves. Peter Dinklage is terrific.
Well, actually,
and there was another one. I'm trying to think of.
Is not a dwarf. He's got some other kind of condition.
No,
there was that guy who was on the Wild Wild West.
He's a dwarf.
Yeah. Remember?
Well, the guy who's on Wild Wild West.
Peter Dinklage of his time.
Was another great actor. actually.
Billy.
Well, there's Billy Barty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hollywood for years.
Yeah, but
and then there's Mini Me.
well, he died. He died recently.
Yeah, he died. Yeah,
he died. He lived just 30 miles from me and 50 miles from Scott.
Yeah,
that'll kill you.
Yeah, but dwarves are fun.
Have you thrown a few?
Well, I mean, and the difference between a midget is that Dinklage is a midget and Tom Cruise is a dwarf. Excuse me, Peter Dinklage is a dwarf and Tom Cruise is a midget.
Tom Cruise is a midget.
Yeah.
How tall is Tom Cruise?
He's 5'4".
5'4", yeah. I was going to say 5'5".
That's not a midget.
I'd say that's stunted growth. It's funny.
According to some of the women he dated, he wasn't a midget where it counted.
Really?
He dated women?
I heard he's gay.
Yeah, I heard he's gay.
They're all gay.
Yeah.
I think he's.
Well, that brought this whole discussion to a grinding halt.
I mean, everybody I know is gay. Says Tom Cruise is definitely gay, but.
Why do you think both of them go to Scientology? Because Scientology supposedly can cure you of being gay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Electroshock.
They're working on that.
Your e-meter thing has to get fixed.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the trouble the Jehovah's Witnesses got into last week?
Ooh,
oh, yeah, like the Catholic thing?
Yeah.
Really?
$34 million was the settlement.
How much?
$34 million for the Jehovah's Witness denomination because of
molestation?
Molestation. And the funny thing is, they do not have a paid clergy.
How much are the Catholics going to have to pay?
Well, the Pope paid collection.
Big.
Yeah. Have they paid already? I guess there's hundreds and hundreds of outstanding cases.
Well, Boston paid a bunch. I know Dallas paid a bunch. Like 20 years ago, they paid like $34 million. They had to sell a lot of buildings and stuff. So they all pay in their district or whatever it's called.
Diocese.
Diocese. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I knew that, but I forgot it.
You're the Catholic. How come you didn't know that?
Well, there's parishes and dioceses and I don't know, continents and whatever.
Really? When are the Jews going to get into this?
Into what?
Into a little bit of molestation.
Oh, they're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering. You never hear about that.
You never hear it, yeah.
Because they don't drink, so they don't get to the point where they can just do it.
Yeah,
because I bet most of these guys are drunk when they do it.
Think so?
Well, wait a minute. We got two people of the tribe on the panel.
Three.
Oh, that's right. That's like someone said about me. He said, I used to know a guy that was black, but then I met Jack Bishop, and I knew two. But I had something I thought that was going to be funny as hell. Just ran off
Was
the
it
track.
some kind of rampant Jew joke?
I don't do any rampant Jew jokes anymore. Not since that thing that happened with, what's her name?
Of course, the best Jew joke is two Jews walk into a bar.
And Frank.
Two Jews walk into a bar. Okay,
that was good, Phil.
And they buy it.
Hey, Jack, are you Jewish?
Not according to this DNA stuff that I'm.
Okay. Aren't you related to Sammy Davis?
No, I got two good eyes.
Baby.
Who loves you?
I tell you, the big shock for me was finding out. So I've done both of those DNA services.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What shocked me was finding out that I was almost 20% Scotch-Irish.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Now, well, I should have known it too, that as much as my old man likes Scotch, but that was another joke.
But Jack doesn't drink.
Oh.
Yeah, my daddy would be very upset with me if he knew I didn't drink.
So anyway, I think what have we learned tonight? We've learned that Brett Kavanaugh is a sleaze bag.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know, 1/7 of this group doesn't agree with you.
I bet if you met him, you'd hate him.
Hey, Alex,
if you met him, you'd hate him.
Alex, did you hear what Brett Kavanaugh's nickname was in high school?
Douchebag?
No, it was Bart because some teacher kept calling him Bart instead of Brett, so everybody called him Bart O'Kavanaugh in high school.
Bart
O'Kavanaugh? That was that judge guy who used that fictitious name.
No, that was his nickname in high school. They even have letters that Brett Kavanaugh sent, and he would sign Bart to it. F Bart.
Maybe he couldn't spell.
Yeah, he couldn't spell his
By
own
the way,
name.
what does the word boofing mean?
He is guilty as hell, Phil.
Boof?
And if you don't,
I think
it's okay if you don't believe it. He's guilty as hell, and he'll get it. He'll get elected. He'll get nominated. He will be on the Supreme Court.
Boof in
You'll
French.
be happy, and you'll have a pervert to sit next to Clarence.
To answer your question, I believe bouffe in French means beef. And there was a great Frenchman that passed away this week, Charles Aznavour. I loved his music.
Aznavour.
What the hell?
You loved his music? Name a song he wrote.
They're in French, but I have his CD at work, and I play it all day long.
You were
not all day long.
You were never a
Oh,
big
de
fan.
bouffe la musique. Hey, I have one. Can I say one thing about? I actually agree that probably Kavanaugh is not an asshole anymore. I was in a fraternity where there were a bunch of Kavanaughs, and I know these guys now, and they're totally upstanding guys. Okay. But if they had to report on the shit they did in college, they'd all probably lie, because it was up there, right? The same kind of crap.
I bet there are a lot of parents right now giving their sons a talk to about be careful what you do right now because it could come back to haunt you someday. You know, and all I'm saying is that what makes this job different than any other is, number one, it's a lifetime appointment, and number two, and that's the least of it, it is something in which somebody is sitting in judge of other people. And if you're going to sit in judge of other people, you better be pretty terrific yourself, because it just is. It doesn't play well, okay? I just think that that's the sum total of this, and I think that any amount of scrutiny that goes into a person who's up for a job on the Supreme Court is justified. I have no problem.
We'll see if he's guilty, or if they expose some sort of malfeasance in his early years.
And if they do, Phil, will you?
If they do, then he's not qualified.
Okay, good.
Oh, I wish.
How about if we also found out he lied?
It is.
How about if we found out he lied under testimony to some things?
That's a crime, and I would hope that they prosecute him and he loses his position in the lower court.
Well, we're all hoping for that. Scott, thank you so much tonight. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks to Jack
SG.
Bishop, who's on next with The Intersection, and SG, who joined us, and Tony. All of which left us before the show was over.
Right.
And Tony's dog, yeah. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye to the folks out there, okay? There they go. That's the Citizens Panel. They look great. They look terrific. Sorry for my Skype screwing up a little bit. We'll see what we can do to fix it. Who knows if we will, because I just don't think it's Skype. I hate these people. I hate them. Hey, listen, Jack's next. After that, at 1 o'clock is Connections. Tomorrow night at 8:30, it's the franchise MC. He's going to do a sports show called The Arena, and then right after that is Damian Chaplin with The Exchange, followed by moi at 10 o'clock. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, you tell her I love her, okay? Bye.